Follow your passion. Manifest your success. Take it slow. These phrases are everywhere. But if you look closely at how fortunes are actually built, this passive, feel-good advice keeps people stuck. Online gurus repeat these slogans constantly because false hope is an incredibly profitable product. It is easy to sell the idea that thinking hard enough will magically deliver results, and even easier to blame you when their expensive courses fail. Today, we are going to build a personalized anti-guru wealth blueprint. We are stripping away the magical thinking and replacing it with the hard-hitting, practical habits that actually generate wealth. Before we start, open a blank document on your computer or grab a notebook and a pen. You will be writing your blueprint as we go. Achieving real financial independence requires actively dismantling comfortable illusions. We have to construct an execution plan based entirely on reality. Step 1 is discarding the idea of following your passion. Passion is a highly subjective emotion that tends to fade. Once you tie something you do for fun to a paycheck, it turns into an obligation, and you quickly find yourself back at square one. Instead, we can look to a strategy championed by entrepreneur Mark Cuban: following your effort. Emotions fluctuate, but tracking where you voluntarily choose to spend your time provides cold, hard facts. Go to your blueprint right now and write down the specific activities you willingly dedicate your free time to. This matrix plots those free time activities on the vertical axis against actual market demand on the bottom. To find a viable business, you have to look exclusively at this top right corner. You can apply endless effort, but without a paying audience, you won't generate wealth. Once you identify that high effort, high demand intersection, you face the most dangerous trap: stopping the work to sit back and try to manifest success. People often point to stories like Jim Carrey writing himself a $10 million check before he got famous as proof that manifestation works. What they ignore is the massive daily physical effort he was simultaneously putting in to secure roles like Dumb and Dumber. This flowchart outlines a much better approach: the grit feedback loop. On your blueprint, document a recent failure. Next to it, write down the exact lesson you learned from it and define the immediate next action to correct it. Relying on this continuous cycle builds the mechanical resilience required for success. If an attempt fails, it is simply a data point showing you what to adjust on your next attempt. Building true wealth comes from matching factual effort with market demand. You weather the inevitable setbacks with mechanical grit, leaving the wishful thinking behind. There is a popular mentality that if you build something great and just wait, people will eventually find it. Sitting back and waiting for money to flow in guarantees you will miss your golden opportunities. We need to adopt the action-patience split. This means executing your daily tasks with extreme urgent speed, while maintaining long-term patience for the financial payoff. Go back to your blueprint. Identify one specific task you have been putting off. Commit to executing that single task before the end of today. This compounding curve demonstrates why that urgency matters. These small, rapid daily actions don't seem like much at first, but they build on one another until they trigger a sudden, massive vertical spike in your results. But if you execute those urgent actions using the exact same rulebook as everyone else, you will only achieve the same average results. On your blueprint, document the standard operating procedure for your target industry. Then, brainstorm one highly disruptive, rule-breaking alternative to how things are normally done. Think of this like fishing. Breaking the rules is the equivalent of abandoning this murky, heavily depleted water where all your competitors are fighting to discover an untouched, hidden pocket of deep blue water. Relentless, urgent execution will get you moving, but combining that speed with an unconventional, rule-breaking strategy uncovers lucrative opportunities your competitors are entirely blind to. The final trap is the idea that compromise is always a virtue. Finding common ground is great for social harmony, but in the pursuit of wealth, compromise is often just a polite word for mediocrity. The author C.S. Lewis once observed that the safest road to hell is the gradual one. A series of small, seemingly reasonable compromises early on inevitably leads to a massive failure of your original vision down the road. These graphics show the difference between ego and focus. Ego blocks all outside feedback entirely. Being uncompromising means you filter outside ideas, but your absolute baseline standard never drops. For the final section of your blueprint, write down your ultimate objective. Directly beneath that, define the absolute minimum standard you refuse to drop below. Achieving exceptional wealth and living life on your own terms requires a specific balance. You must have the humility to gather outside perspectives, but the ruthless backbone to never lower your final standards. Take a look at the physical or digital document you've just created. It is no longer a wish list. It is a functional architecture for your wealth. You've replaced subjective passion with tracked effort. You've traded manifesting for mechanical grit. Committed to extreme daily urgency, disrupted industry rules, and refused to settle for mediocrity. Cold, hard facts and relentless execution will permanently outperform fluffy, emotional advice every single time. Now, close this video. Go execute the urgent task you wrote down in your blueprint today. And if you value reality-based wealth building, make sure to subscribe.